Alrighty, so we're going to be watching the EricBR Miniyeti series. Now, I will spoil this already. I watched the final game already. I watched it live. We are going to be watching the recorded games for this one. This is the draft between the two players. The first game is played on Blue Lagoon, and it's going to be a Set versus Hushi affair. And it's going to be an exciting time to be alive here. So sit back, relax, get some popcorn, and let's jump in to game numero uno. And in the left-hand corner of the map, playing is Set, making his big return, his debut return game. He's going to be playing some Set for us. His name is EricBR. Technically not his debut return game, because technically he played in the round of 64 and obviously won in the round of 64 to get to this round of 32 game. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Hushi, it's Miniyeti. So Blue Lagoon, Set versus Hushi game. Both very, in my own personal draft, these are two very highly contested picks that I would be very happy to have either or of. So I'm glad to see these guys going at it in this matchup. I think it's a pretty fun matchup. No earth walls to ruin things on the Hushi side of things. And the Set player has got all of the power behind him to get a huge amount of value in many different areas. If we take a quick look at some relics over here, on the left-hand corner, there is the Ogre Bitten Helm, which is the hit points of heroes going up by 10%. Really, really nice relic here for Miniyeti. I'm sure he's going to be grabbing that one. And over on this side, there is the Grass-Cutting Sword, another huge relic there for infantry movement speed. Amazing. Absolutely ridiculously amazing for the Set. If Eric spots that, he should abandon converting animals and just sit on this relic, grab himself the fastest Hands of the Pharaoh he possibly can, and just enjoy that, because that's an insane relic for him. Already 5.3 speed spearmen, and then get an extra 5%. They will be zooming. Absolutely zooming. Over on this side, there is the Pandora's Box, which makes the myth units a little bit cheaper. A fantastic relic there for both players, but more so for the Hushi, who's going to be wanting to make some potential... what are they called? Chillin'. Those dudes, or even some Yatsa as well. Whichever ones he feels like in the early stage, and then potentially later as well. And then the Pygmalion statue. This relic's huge as well for Eric, because it means that if he does have to face up against any of those Yatsa, the villages are most likely not going to be falling. So some big relics on this map. And before I've already slightly introduced Eric here. He has been playing some Age of Empires 4. He's been having a lot of success over there, having some fun. Definitely one of the strong players on the scene there, and showing that he has a lot of talent. He can play multiple different RTS games at very high levels. Miniyeti, on the other hand, I believe he actually has come from Age of Empires 1. I could be wrong on that, but I believe he came from Age of Empires 1, which is strange. I didn't realize that there was much of a scene there outside of Vietnam. But yeah, that's apparently the story. And basically he's known for his cheesing ways. He's an aggressive player. He is a cheeser. He doesn't mind how he gets his wins. He doesn't care. He's going to just go for the most insane strategies he can come up with, the most broken ideas that he has. And he'll basically go from there. So yeah, that's the story. That's what I'm sticking with, and we'll see how this game's going to go, because there's no surprises in the God picks here. Anubis and Chi-Yo, and we do indeed see the Grass-Cutting Sword here coming into Miniyeti's hands. He does actually leave this relic though. Obviously, Ogre Bitten Helm is amazing for him, but he wants to grab the first relic there first and foremost, that Grass-Cutting Sword. It does help out a lot with the halberdier, because now they're going to be a little bit faster. They're not going to be quite as far. They're not going to be fast enough to actually chase any camel riders down. But realistically, Eric's not really going to be making cavalry in this matchup. He wants to make, actually might make elephants. Elephants are a unit for this matchup. But realistically, probably wants spearman, slinger, chariot archer, maybe. Which obviously the halberdier can be pretty good into, but maybe not. Spy coming down from Eric, as he is going to be looking for any sort of raids to push in here and take some villagers out. We'll see where he's going to go with those bad boys as he's running down the bottom in search of villagers, in search of damage. And we have not yet actually seen the Imperial Academy through for Miniyeti, so no big fat Deuterino just yet. No Neja coming in as the Anubites are going to come get some pressure. The town center on this side will come up for Eric. A little bit of a harassment into the main base as this is already a doubly upgraded Yatsa there. But the villagers almost going down. Does he get one? He gets one villager picked there. As the villagers have to pull back into the town center before returning over onto the Giraffe here. He does have his Pioneer with the Pandora's box there as well. As the Yatsa going to be returning in. He needs to get some return fire in. When you're playing, I don't know if he's going to stay one town center or he's going to go for a second one, but when you're playing 1 versus 2 TC, it's really, really important to not drop villagers to these types of myth unit raids. As the Pandora's box does get taken, the Anubites ready to pop back onto this position. There's still no Najar in as the Anubites jump forward. And we will see the villager. Does it go down? No. Nice defense from Miniyeti. He keeps on coming back over onto this Giraffe here. But at the very least, he does manage to push those Anubites away. One is almost taken out. And the army here for Miniyeti is going to be searching for some damage here. Meanwhile, barracks coming up. Walls coming up. Defense is going to be the name of the game here for Eric in this situation. 2 town center versus 1 town center. All you got to do is hold. Don't lose any villagers. Get yourself an army out. Make sure you get to that second gold mine, and you're good. Miniyeti needs to kill villagers. Potentially killing off a town center and villagers would be a game-winning play for him. Stopping the gold for a little bit, making a nice trade there, picking off a bunch of villagers on that second gold mine is going to be an angle for him to go for. The Yatsa over here, it's taking down that Anubite would be gigantic there. It doesn't actually miss it, unfortunately, there, as more units are coming through, starting to accrue onto this front. Definitely need to have eyes on this as well as eyes on this. 2 big important gold mines. There's also this one, but you could possibly send a villager forward nice and early here and start walling this off. As the axemen are starting to come through for Eric. We'll be needing some slingers as well to deal with the fire archers. We'll be needing some priests to deal with the Yatsa as well. And Eric is now under attack as the Yatsa come in. That's going to be 1 dead villager. Second villager going down as well. As Eric does pull back into the town center. Takes some pretty hefty losses there. However, Miniyeti making a bit of an interesting decision coming over here. He has to take this wooden wall down. He might get caught on this position. This is exactly what Eric is going to be wanting. He's coming around onto the backside here. He takes a little bit of a fight. He snipes down the Anubite there as the units are trying to pull back into this back corner, but this is a really, really bad position for Miniyeti to be in. Lightning weapons gets chopped down, and he's going to try and stun up those priests to allow the Yatsa to get max value. Stuns up another one onto the back there. As his Yatsa getting a little bit of HP back with that lifesteal, comes back over onto the back with more units here. As the Pharaoh to come forward, and the army of Miniyeti does get eliminated there. Gigantic mistake from Miniyeti. Throws away his lightning weapons, loses the fight against the Egyptian army, loses Yatsa, all from trying to get through onto this position, gets caught out by that little tiny wall. That little tiny wall. And now Eric can very happily just move forward, grab the mining camp. He can get more priests out. It's really important when playing against Hushi, when playing against Hushi, when playing against Shennong, maybe even Nuwa, to always have out like 5 to 10 priests. The Guardian Anubites wandering forward. They do get spotted by the Yatsa, and they will be They will be getting taken out here. I think the Archer can chase them down. They will get that special back up first, I think. Or will they? Actually, maybe they don't. But then again, if they jump away, then the Archer can at least dash onto them, but he's not going to chase them down, and Eric is pulling back in onto this spot. Now it's going to be about a 10 villager differential as Eric is slowly pushing away. The problem now for Miniyeti is, as he's queued up through New Bar, I think the problem for Miniyeti at the moment is mostly that he doesn't have lightning weapons remaining here. No lightning weapons means a difficult fight to come. Even going to the heroic age, getting out Taltier as an idea might work, but it just depends on how much Eric plays into that and defends. At the moment, Eric doesn't have the priest. He's only got 2. That's actually probably not even enough to defend against these Yahtzee here. He does have a Pharaoh though somewhere, right? Wherever he may be. Grabbing this relic. Did he actually ignore this? And grabbing that relic would be so huge as well. An extra 10% HP on the priests would feel really, really good. Meanwhile, the Anubites swinging in onto this side. Going to look for a little bit of a raid. Snipes one priest there. And Miniyeti, I actually almost think he could just spam out a whole bunch of units and push this just on the... I mean, he doesn't... Obviously, you don't know if you're Miniyeti. You don't know what's going on here, but there's just not enough priests to deal with the myth units. But there's enough... If this would be a winning fight with all the resources spent. Like, if he gets an extra 1,500 resources worth of unit in, 1,300 resources worth of unit in, I think he wins that fight. But nonetheless, he's going heroic age. Doesn't give him a whole lot apart from the Tau tier. And does Miniyeti still not have an Imperial Academy? Does he not know that you get Najjar and it's like one of the best heroes in the game? Like, definitely the best early game hero in the game. These Anubites get 0 damage normally versus Fushi because the Najjar shuts it down. 5 speed versus 5 speed. You can't really jump in and get any damage because the Najjar will be there and start poking you. If you get jabbed once, the Anubite's probably dead. As a Yahtzee comes through, does manage to pull back, but at least a little bit of damage will come on before the Anubite can actually jump back out. There is a wall over here, which will be a little bit of an issue. Can he finish that wall off? Finishes this one. Yes, and he does actually get it up. As now the Yahtzee are going to be taking this fight. He's pushing over here. A big fight in the center of the map as the Yahtzee is going down to the priest and Miniyeti here. He's in the heroic age now, but he doesn't get any decent god powers to help him out. There's no Fey Beasts or anything like that with Fushi. He's retreating back out. Huge advantage for Eric now. As the Tautier will come over here. We'll finish off the Anubite there, but Miniyeti is now stuck. 1 town center versus 2 town centers. He is behind nearly 30 villages. Eric is going to be going to the heroic gauge through Nephthys. And he is going to be in a very good position moving forward. I mean, the other thing he gets from getting to the heroic age is a stronger Najjar, but he can't get that stronger Najjar without actually building said Najjar. Because now Nephthys is in. There's 7 Yahtzee. There is a Tautier. There is a handful of priests. I still don't think this is enough heroes here, but we'll see. I mean, with Ancestors, it might be. As the Yahtzee diving forward, priests getting the damage, and he drops down his Drought, which literally does nothing. Except for hitting the Migdol Stronghold, right? But it does nothing. And Miniyeti there, with his cheesing ways, does not manage to take EricBR out in game number 1 of this best of 5 series for the round of 32 of the first qualifier of Champions League Season 4. That was a mouthful. I mean, this literally can be boiled down to Miniyeti getting trapped on this spot. If he doesn't get trapped here, this gold mine probably can't get grabbed as easily. Miniyeti can push in with his own lightning weapons with more units. Probably be in a really good spot to get some villager kills. Maybe Eric holds, gets a gold mine, but he definitely loses some villagers. And the game would go on. But big mistakes from Miniyeti in this game one. Maybe some jitters. First game or second game, jitters still there. Tournament jitters. Move into game number 2. See what they're going to pick. Let's check out the draft. Alrighty, give that point over to Senor Eric. Okay, so we're going to be... What map are we going to be moving into is the big question here. Give me a second to get that up. Alrighty, so it looks like we are now on Mirage. So it's going to be a Zeus versus Gaia game on Mirage. This is pretty exciting. This one is pretty exciting. I think this is not only Miniyeti's ace pick, which is Gaia, but it is also Miniyeti's ace pick map, Mirage. So he's obvious, like Mirage is probably the most unique map in this map pool. You've got Anatolia and Mirage that are very different from each other. Like Okuchichibu is a nice defensive map. You've got Giza, kind of open but boomy map. You got Key, Blue Lagoon. Like all these maps are slightly different, but realistically, Mirage is the map that if you're going to cook up something that your opponent's not going to be ready for, it's going to be quite good. So let's jump into game number 2 and see what it's going to be, and we'll see if Eric can hold here. As we jump in, left side of the map is Eric. He's playing the Zeus. Right side of the map, it's Miniyeti playing the Gaia. So Mirage is effectively Anatolia rotated like this much. Just rotate it a tiny bit. Bank, and you're good to go. That's what Mirage is. You see the dot coming down for Eric. You get 9 fish. I think you might be able to... some maps might give 8, but I think most of the time you get 9 fish on this map. So there's a hefty amount of bonus economy. And what does bonus economy really mean? It means that early units are hyper accelerated, or early tech is hyper accelerated, or early economy is hyper accelerated. It's all just faster. There's more stuff that can happen. There's more stuff that can go wrong. Right? And I guess there's also another point of attack. So if you want to send, say, a Stymphalian bird in, you can pick off the fishing ships with that. Stymphalian bird can be kind of difficult to defend against, right? But we'll see how things are going to go. There is a back gold mine over here. Mirage often does spawn with a town center kind of close to a gold mine. Maybe even back hunt here as well, as both players do have those rhinos behind this. But this can be a little bit of a bait. While a second gold mine is like all well and good, there's a ton of really, really strong all-ins. One town center all-ins on this map, in my opinion. For example, Isis going for a fast heroic, dropping Migdol in your face while you're still busy trying to get your villagers out and your units out, and then all of a sudden there's a siege tower, there's Ancestors Eclipse, there's all that stuff happening. Gaia, on the other hand, I mean, you're probably more so just going for like raids and things like that. You do have the Murmillos and I guess, yeah, Murmillos and things like that you can use to go and raid your opponent. Terma, etc. They can be pretty useful as well to get those raids in. You've also got that heroic age timing where you go up to get through Rhea and you get yourself a whole bunch of behemoth to break through your opponent's base, or go through Thea and then you can start getting some Stymphalian birds and dryads and things like that, which can also be a little bit challenging for the Zeus to deal with. Conversely, Zeus can play one town center here so well. Huge amounts of hoplites can come through. Go for a Dionysus idea. Push through and break the Gaia's 2 town center defense very, very simply. Maybe not against Leto, but if you play against Leto, you have to play a very, very different style. In fact, thinking about this, maybe we are going to be seeing Miniyeti not going Oceanus here. Leto, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think it's actually quite a strong play. Whether you're going to be going Leto to TC, idea being that if your opponent does go for a 1 town center all in, you just mass a whole bunch of spider eggs and play defense, right? And you're just going to be able to hold it because you've got the nice safe gold mine. Or if it goes into a 2 town center versus 2 town center situation, well, then you just max 190 pop of automaton plus units, right? You just get so many in. And then the Zeus player is going to be like, well, I kind of 2 TC fast heroic to get out the Odysseus. Probably like a 2 TC fast mythic in an attempt to try and hold on with a Bellerophon to help you breaking through all those automatons is going to be somewhat necessary. Anyways, we don't see that. We don't see it. We're seeing Oceanus. I slapped my table because I'm upset. I wanted to see the Leto. I wanted to see the Leto. Anyways, Oracle Hero coming through as a relic will get picked up. Oh my god, he's breaking the rule. Miniyeti is grabbing relics on a water map. This is unheard of. It's never happened before in the history of Age of Mythology. It happens most games, but not on water maps and not in tournaments. Wait, hang on. Is there a relic over here as well? Is that 2 relics? It is. He's got 2. Wu Hao Bow of Huang Di to make his ranged units get like snare. They can snare their opponent up a little bit. And then also the Ulu's Bow, making them have an extra little bit of range. As you see, a military barracks coming down. What are the other 2 relics on the map? There's Tail Feather of the Heavens, giving the infantry units bonus damage. Oh my god, these relics are insane. Scales of Catopla Plus, not the biggest of deals, but I mean, imagine him going Leto with that though. Could be good. I'm making jokes. This is a joke about people not grabbing relics on water. People are so focused on their like water build order and getting the fishing ships out and doing all that stuff that oftentimes they just forget that relics are on the map. That's the joke. It's not funny if I have to explain it though. You got to watch more Age. You got to watch more Age Mythology. That's all I have to say. And Eric does decide 2 TC is the way to go. The Minotaur is sitting on the back. This is the second situation where Eric's going 2 TC. Miniyeti is an aggressive player. He's going 1 TC. He grabs himself. He grabs himself the Purse Scene upgrade. We are seeing the upgrades coming through for Eric as well as the Pegasus wanders through, and Eric will notice 3 military barracks here. I could be wrong, but I don't think Eric should even build a single unit here. I think he's already blundering this defense. Grab watchtowers, put a wall here, grab this, put towers down, put an armory here, and go heroic age for her pass best. Like, nice and defensive. Take your time. Never mind. Okay, I'm not reading this strategy at all. Miniyeti is already heading to the heroic age through Thea, which means you don't even need to get the towers out. So straight to the... I'm right that you should just go straight to the heroic age here as Zeus. But Eric doesn't know that. He's coming back in with the Pegasus. He hasn't seen a single unit out. He sees the military buildings. So this is just mind games at the highest level from Miniyeti. Where is his armory? Wait, no, he does spot it. Eric does see the armory here, so he knows that something is afoot. It could just be armory upgrades, but he hasn't seen a single unit. This is going to be Contarius, and I think Eric has recognized this, but he also should be going to the next age regardless. I don't think he needs to stay in the classical age. Get walls, and I think I'm right, towers as well is perfectly fine. Towers are perfectly fine here. Walls, towers, heroic age, and maybe even prodromus as the Thea comes through. Because you're going to need to have the heroes is the most important thing to deal with dryads, to deal with the Stymphalian bird. The Contarius you're going to be able to deal with regardless because you're going to have the hoplites or prodromus. But you can't really deal with the dryads without that extra hero. Or the Stymphalian bird either. And now we see the armory coming through for Eric, and I think he's sort of realizing what he's facing now, and maybe he feels like he's made a mistake, but more hoplites are in. They will be somewhat able to defend what's coming for him, but I know he's still spamming hoplites. He's just going to try and defend in this classical age. Realistically, he shouldn't even be on this gold mine at the moment. He should be up here on this gold mine, wall up, leaving this gold as long as he possibly can. That's what Kavoth would be doing. But we've already got the Kontarius spammage starting up, and they are now going to be heading across the map looking for raids. There's another Hesperid's Tree coming through. I guess behind all of this, you could also go fully in onto the economic upgrades. That's another idea. For some reason here, Eric is also only a tiny bit in front of villages at this point, which is kind of wild considering he's still in the classical age. And now we see the wall coming up a little bit late on this side as the units are coming through. We do have that bolt there that comes down as the Stymphalian bird keeps his fishing ship alive there with 5 HP. No problems. Good usage of the bolt there. And Miniyeti is now in. And that's going to be a dead villager. Meanwhile, the Kontari is coming this way as the villagers are going to be abandoning the main base. Where is he going with these hoplites? He's got to be over. Okay, anyway, so he's going to be trying to finish this up. Defends up onto this side. Kontarius is still chasing villagers around. And we do see that Miniyeti, he is very well aware that there is going to be some villagers over onto this left side. But Eric pulls quickly. He's going to come up to the top side, keep his villagers alive. Hoplites coming over here to defend as the wall trying to get finished up over here, but Miniyeti is in full Kontarius spam here. Heroic Age going to be coming through for Eric sooner or later. But the villagers are all getting pushed back and getting idled and all that other good stuff. Eric here coming up to the top side, looking to try and defend. Kontarius coming in, will spot the gold mine being finished. And at this point now, Eric's going to have a little bit of trouble with sorting out this position. Military-wise, Miniyeti in front. Economic-wise, Eric is in front. Heroic Age is on the way. And effectively here, Eric just needs to wait out for this Heroic Age. He needs to wait for maybe dropping like a fortress or something down here. Dealing with these units onto this side. Miniyeti is spread out all across the map. I'd love to see him getting some oracles into the center so he can see what's going on. Potentially also getting a whole bunch of Stymphalian birds in. Could be a huge help. Yes, there's those heroes there, but with good micro, you can do absolute work against that sort of an army. As the wall to come back up. Eric's back onto his gold mine now. And the Kontarius riding forward. There's just so many of them. Even though they do get counted by the hoplite, there's so many Kontarius here as the Carnivora gets dropped down. Hydra popping out. And the army decides it's time to go. Eric taking the fight, drops his restoration. And now Miniyeti says, all right, no worries. Let me pull out of here. Gets the restoration down. Now he has to get past a bronze. At this point, Eric should still be waiting for his upgrades. He's got to get that heavy infantry in, but he's taking this fight regardless as the Kontarius Dryads looking very strong. Now the bronze comes down and Miniyeti says, no worries. I'm out of here. You use bronze. I'm good to go. No problems. The villager differential is equal. Villagers have been getting slain non-stop in this game. There's no advantage for Eric, really, at this point. I mean, economic upgrade. Like, let's just take a quick look at the upgrades. He's got hand axe, pickaxe on the other side. It's hand axe, shaft mine. So if anything, there's a slight edge probably for Eric just on the fact that he's playing Greek with the Greek villages, that they work a little bit faster than those Gaia villages. But still, the Gaia's got that extra economic upgrade, so it's kind of close here. Does he have the dock upgrade as well? Miniyeti's got the double dock upgrade, so his fishing ships are working a little bit harder. The game is definitely very close. Kontarius coming down onto this bottom side, and this Oracle is going to spot it. And he will, I imagine Miniyeti will turn there immediately and take those villagers out. Goes in. Villagers pulling off of this position. He's coming through here. Will be able to, does he get that villager snipe? Yes, he does. One vill down. Has not noticed the villagers over here just yet with that Oracle. But nonetheless, he's coming up onto the top side as Eric is sitting in the center of the map with his hoplites, not dealing with this raid just yet. Meanwhile, another raiding party of Kontarius coming down to the bottom. There's villagers in the center. They're spread out all over the place. But Eric's now up to heavy infantry. On the other side, though, the Mamilo tech switch is starting to come through. And Eric doesn't have any units to deal with this just yet. A forward economic guild to come down, spreading out some lush. Kontarius here getting chased away as these ones will get onto these villages. Every time he picks off a handful of villages, this delays the advantage which Eric is waiting for. A fight onto this position as well as Miniyeti says, I know you're not going to be paying attention to your villagers down to the bottom, but he loses a huge amount of Kontarius on this one to get that fight to happen. He's going to pull back, and then Eric can push forward here. All the villagers on the bottom dying. There is a 50, it's 50 villagers to 50 villagers right now as Eric charges onto the villagers here, but there should be channels in. There is no channel, so these villagers are moving very, very slowly for the Gaia side of things. He's pulling back into the main base as the Kontarius are just searching for villagers to kill here. Eric is saying, it's time to go get me into this base. He's a little bit away from this restoration. If you can get a restoration here, it would be gigantic. 8 favor, 7 favor. That's all he needs. The Hydra starting to get a couple of heads in here. Carnivora does get dropped down, but there is Odysseus through. That Carnivora will be down, but there will be a dead hoplite for it. Restoration is now up, and he does drop it immediately, but he drops it down on a very small amount of units. 14 hoplites only. Meanwhile, in this position, the Kontarius are getting dealt with. Miniyeti's still trying to pick villagers off here. And Miniyeti has held. Eric pulling back, losing units. He will be dropping his Hydra as well. 4-headed Hydra in the dream, but that one is done. And Eric now has to pull all the way back into his main base. He's been hit left, right, and center on the villagers. He's still got a villager advantage, but I mean, he's spending more on economy than Miniyeti is. He's building the villagers out, and they have time that it takes for him to actually pay themselves off. It's like 50 seconds or a minute, or even a minute and a half at this point, because the villagers have to move over to resources outside their base or whatever for them to actually pay themselves off, and then you take the advantage from actually having them. And Miniyeti now taking this fight. Those Murmillo, with all of those upgrades, with all those relics, will be doing absolute work. On the top side, the Arcus helping out as well. I don't know if he's got any upgrades for his armor just yet. He doesn't. He's now getting himself Aegis Shield and Copper Shields there, which is going to help against those Arcus, as we see a couple of Peltas now starting to come through. More Murmillo streaming in onto this side to try and take out the hoplites and all the other good stuff. But militarily speaking, it's still equal. Another economic guild to come through for Miniyeti as he pulls back. Now going up to Quarry. He's still one town center and a dream here. Armor upgrades, missing himself the bronze weapons. On the other side for Eric, he's missing copper weapons, bronze shields. He's quite far behind on those armory upgrades. Really needs to get those two. He's now got himself that ballistics to make his Peltas a little bit stronger against the Arcus. Eric's got to be careful, though, to not overdo it on Peltas. This is always a big mistake on Greek players' side when playing against Atlanteans. The Atlanteans do want to go pretty heavy onto the Arcus, but not if there's a whole bunch of Peltas there. There's a little bit of being careful, so to speak, with that, as the Arcus is starting to get some pot shots meanwhile down onto the bottom. Just a random military barracks, because why not? Does get spotted. Oracle also gets spotted, gets taken out. Fishing ship eco ups. Eric does have his now. He's seeing we're missing that one. We're missing Bowsaw. Both players missing Bowsaw. Farms are going to have to start coming through as well, as this Kontarius can try and take down the wooden gate there. 19 HP Contarius idling this villager and spending gold there. That's a nice little bit of value for Miniyeti. As he will snipe off the hoplite on that side. For some reason, these pacifists decided bouldering was the thing that they want to do. Don't ask me why, but that's what they were doing there. You see the Carnivora getting dropped on top of the Peltas there, but Eric is straight onto the back of those Arcus, taking those out. But these Mamilla are going to start tearing through the hoplites. You do see a couple of heavier pacifists to come in, but still, no, they don't tear through the hoplites at all. Eric holds. Miniyeti pulls back, but Miniyeti, no, he's actually behind on villagers now. It's 73 to 60 at the moment. Town center coming through for Miniyeti at the moment as well. They'll try and help him out here. Takes the fight. He's on top of his lush. That's where he wants to be when fighting. As the army collides here, it does look like, I mean, it's hard to tell, but I think Miniyeti is going to be pulling out ever so slightly in front as Eric has to pull back off of that lush there. Miniyeti going to pull up here. Everyone to this side. One Contarius sneaks through. The villagers will decide, okay, we'll at least come over and start fighting this one. But that's 2 villager kills. There's going to be another villager kill here as well. Good control from Eric to retreat. But he loses it nonetheless. At least not anymore that go down. One big advantage that normally comes from this specific thing that Miniyeti's doing by attacking this wooden wall is that Eric is getting like that notification that he's under attack consistently in this game. Another economic guild coming down as this lush is getting spread everywhere. Look at the speed on these units. Well, they have to be on the lush to have that speed boost, but wait, does he have it? Surely he has. He doesn't have channels! Eric drops down. Oh, not Eric. Miniyeti drops down a Gaia forest there to try and cause some problems. Eric says, time for another restoration. Get out of here, my friend. I'm good to go. 81 villagers to 70. But Miniyeti is at full pop. He says, let's go, let's fight. Does he have any idle units anywhere? There are a couple of idle units on the other side. Any idle units? No, Eric's got everything in the fight. Miniyeti on top of Lush at the moment, on top of this gold mine, pushing the villagers off here. The army of Eric seems to be slowly falling here. As Contaria is continuing to collide in onto this spot. Economic guilds going down. Over here we do have the Stymphalian bird is back. He gets it, and that's going to be some dead fishing ships. Taking this Stymphalian bird out is really, really hard for Zeus on this map. Nope, never mind, he just bolts it. And it's really hard for Zeus on this map, except for when he's got all the favor in the world. But that does mean you've just traded, what? A little bit of favor for 55 favor, meaning you're delaying another restoration or bronze or anything like that. Okay, military barracks, more military barracks coming in. I feel like I'm not following this game very well. Not gonna lie. We got the bronze weapons on the way now as well for Eric, as he is getting a hefty amount of dudes out. He's at full pop, ready to take yet another fight here. For some reason, we haven't seen Miniyeti really building the dryads out in this game. I think that's really hurting him. Nonetheless, Arcus in an amazing position at the back here, as he's going to be able to start really tearing through these hoplites. And Miniyeti seems to have found the opening. Imagine if he didn't send that Stymphalian bird through. There would have been a restoration. There would have been a restoration. It would have been a completely different fight. Villagers falling now. Gold. This is the last gold mine for Eric on this map. He's down to 150 population. He doesn't have anything remaining. Can he sell? He can sell some food. He's got a lot of food in the bank. Another Gaia forest to come down here just to lock this position off. It's a little bit BM, but I like the idea. Villagers getting sniped on the way up. Huge losses for Eric now. The restoration does come down, but at 150 pop, 3.1k, 63 population of military, it's not that useful. More Dryads coming through. Eric trying to micro with that Odysseus to take them all out. Hoplites dying, Peltas falling. Villagers on the top here. Getting sniped on that gold mine. Eric needs gold. He has to sit there and mine. But he's losing villagers left, right, and center. Miniyeti is pulling ahead on score. He's up to 3 towns and he's going for a 4th one. There is one cheeky little hoplite there stopping that, but the villagers will be able to return there very shortly. Basically, the entirety of the map is spread with Gaia lush at the moment. There's literally lush everywhere here. Peltas getting sniped down. Hoplites doing everything, but Eric in that moment does let the game slip out of his clutches. And Miniyeti manages to level the series 1-1. A very, very, very nice defense from Eric at the start. He took a lot of damage, though, losing villagers. Didn't have his wall set up. Didn't have the defenses against those Contarias. He had the hoplites, but they're only so good. You also need to have walls down. And I think that's where Miniyeti was able to keep the game close. Let's take a look at the post-game here for a hot second. Civilian unit total. You look at it, and Eric is pulling ahead. He's pulling ahead. He drops down. He's pulling ahead. He's pulling ahead. He drops down. No moment here did Eric manage to actually get his advantage, keep his advantage, and get anything from it. And then the second town center comes up, and then things are somewhat equal. And the big play here for Miniyeti. The big play for Miniyeti was that Stymphalian bird onto the water, and Eric says, I got to bolt it. Not having a restoration for this gold mine, for this fight, was everything. That's the big difference maker here in this one. If that restoration was in, Eric survives the fight, even wins the fight, and can probably push on and take the game. But a well-played game for Miniyeti. We'll move back into the draft and see what's going to be happening there. Let's jump over to it. Alrighty. A little cheeky 1-1 at the moment. I think bolting the bird was a mistake. He needs to have that restoration up. If he's going to go for that strat where you're putting that many villagers on favor, you've got to be getting that restoration, and it's super important. Alright, so game number 3 we're moving into. Alrighty. So it's going to be a Amaterasu versus Shennong on step. Let's get it. And here we go. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Amaterasu. His name is EricBR. And we've got Miniyeti at the top, playing Shennong. So far, a very, very close series. Very, very close series. Miniyeti has been playing incredibly aggressive, non-stop in this series thus far. The first game, he went pretty crazy with China against the set. Second game, he went crazy with the Gaia against the Zeus. Is he going to continue this craziness against Amaterasu? Most people have kind of worked out that the best way to play against Japanese right now, and this might change, you never know, the best way to play against Japanese right now is to play a defensive game. Let the Japanese come to you. Let the samurai come to you. If they're only going to get Bushido in, that's fine. Raid, stay away from the samurai, kill villagers, and try and get your tech in so you can compete with the Bushido that's going to be coming through, the free upgrades that's going to be coming through on the other side. So what could Miniyeti go for, though? Any crazy ideas? Not really. Yatsa to defend against those weasels makes some sense, because normally we're seeing all the Amaterasu players going for Ame no Uzume and then going in with the kamikaze Kamatachis and going for the suicide weasels. Taking you with me type approach, utilizing that Goshin Boku. But we'll see what Miniyeti is going to cook up here. Pretty much every single game, it feels like Miniyeti is playing his own stuff. I have not really seen him copying anyone, so to speak, at this point. I haven't seen him copying anyone. So it'll be really interesting to see what Miniyeti is actually going to be able to come up with. Relics on the map. Let's have a little look. See, we got the nose of the Sphinx on the left side there, building hit points plus 15%. Over on the right side, we got the blue crystal shard, which is an extra 5% there for the gold and wood gather rate of the villagers. Up on this top side, there is Rhea's crown, which is minus 10% there for the town centers cost. And finally, there is Hestia's hearth, which is going to be the villager train time minus 5% as well. So, in terms of what is generally the meta, quote unquote, for this matchup, you're generally going to go how to. You're generally going to go for a second talent center. You're generally going to be using that that earth wall on your main base to protect yourself from the weasels. And go from there. But this town center is garbage. There's very little on this, but you can grab this wood line pretty safely. Drop a couple of farms down here so that the villagers can just hang out on the farms and be fine. We do see the earth wall dropping down, the Cheongchi coming forward. And the question is, where to next? Does he go for the town center? Does he go for a classical fight? Those are the big questions. On the other side, Eric here, he is dropping those goats on top of his shrine. Amaterasu does boost those goats up. So we get a little bit of extra food. See, this one's already got 328 total food, as it's going to be slowly accruing over the game. Meanwhile, the kitsune coming through, just poking around, and he does spot a machine workshop there, as well as a military camp. Into the main base, we've got that Goshin Boku coming down. It's going to be a dojo and a guardhouse, as this makes perfect sense. Generally, well, not generally. What you need to do as Japanese is always be thinking, okay, what unit do they want to counter? We've got our samurai. We want samurai. What is he going to do to build? What is he going to build to kill our samurai? Well, he's going to build fire archers. How do we kill his fire archers? Well, guess what are good against fire archers? Yumi Archer. They've got lots of range, or Bushi is fine as well, right? They've got lots of range, and they're good to go there. And they can take out those fire archers, help you use those samurai. See a stable coming up as well from Eric, which is a little bit strange, probably unnecessary, but we'll see if he's going to make any units from that, or if it's just going to be there for a later daimyo when he gets to the heroic age. Miniyeti going for another machine workshop at this point, ready to start really spamming out these Deuterinos. It's a little bit rare to see a how-to Shennong going full send on the classical fight. It's a little bit rare. Meanwhile, Eric is just going to come forward, grabbing his boar. Very, very happy to do so. Realizes his opponent is sitting in his base. So we can just sit back here and enjoy. On the other side, one thing that Eric can do, he's already gotten himself the Razorwing Kamatachi, is he can basically just go for as many of these bad boys as he can afford. They're relatively cheap at 120 food, 12 favor. They do a ton of upfront damage with that special attack. And it's got four area of effect. So it's a huge amount of damage. If you can get your opponent sort of caught off guard, it can be really, really good. As the Kitsune here, does it go down? One Kitsune kill? No, not quite. Does get spotted as he's moving outside of the base. Pulls back. I think he's right that he's got a little bit of a timing here to put some pressure on, but it is dangerous. There's more Bushi coming through. But building Bushi over building the Yumi archers does mean you're spending a little bit of favor on them, right? They take a long time to train at 20 seconds and also costing 2 favor apiece. But he wants those just in case there's going to be any Cheongchi, it looks like. As he snipes down the Kitsune and the Naginata Rider. Checking around for whatever it can find there. Miniyeti wanders forward, does spot the villagers on this position, gets a little bit of damage done with that chillin' there. As the Weasel's going to come forward, and this is the dangerous part. I don't think that Miniyeti should be here. He's going to try and pull back into his main base. The Weasel's doing so much damage. He's almost sniped when he does pick one up, but he will be losing the Pioneer afterwards, and they go straight into that Goshin Boku as the Solar Shield comes down onto one of them, and all of a sudden, Eric has got himself a lot of Bushido here. He's up to 618 XP remaining on that Bushido before he gets up to medium. And realistically right now, what does Miniyeti actually need? He's going to drop an Imperial Academy. He needs a lot of heroes. He needs a lot of heroes. The Pioneer's going to be coming out. Getting himself an Imperial Academy to make more Pioneers. How many of these does he actually have is the question. There's 4, plus there's the one coming from the Goshin Boku, so that's 5. And then there's also 25 favor in the bank, so that can be 6, 7. If you're thinking about how many Pioneers you need to deal with those, 7, 10, 15 maybe? You need a lot of these bad boys. And there's no lightning weapons either to deal with them. Is the Academy? I don't think the Academy trains them faster. I think they just train 12 seconds regardless, right? They both train. She just needs both of these to get them out. He's trying to pump out as many as he possibly can here. Military camp coming out onto this spot as the Naginata Riders do spot that one, but can he get away? Takes one smack, takes a second smack, and the military camp gets denied. Meanwhile, a little bit of an attack here with those halberdiers. An interesting idea from Miniyeti because these are moving at 5 speed, so at the very least he can get away from the Amaterasu. Now Eric looks like he's spamming more units. I thought he might be thinking about going to the next age, but not happening just yet as the army trying to cut Miniyeti off the pass, but he's not able to do so. And the Naginata Riders can try and get in front, block this off, and then the Kamatachi can get the big swipes on. But I think gotta be so careful. He does pull back. Those Pioneers are in. Doesn't quite manage to take any of those guys out. More Pioneers getting spammed out as Miniyeti is just playing the defense. Can he get through it? Some more houses up onto this top side. I wonder if Cheongchi wouldn't be a bad idea here. The problem for Miniyeti is out of gold. What he can do is he can wander over onto the gold mine, drop a granary, like onto the corner, put some farms down, and at the very least he can be mining that gold without worry that a whole bunch of Kamatachi can come over and just kill him. And Miniyeti now coming forward, trying to snipe off the Kamatachi here. Gets one. Goes for a second one, gets a second one. They are dying in one shot. A third one goes down. A fourth one goes down. Great control from Miniyeti. He's still got a couple more to pick off on the top. Another one goes down. Solar Shield does come through as the Halberdiers getting pushed back. But with all of that control to try and take out the one Razor Wind Kamatachi, all of those samurai managed to break through the Halberdier. And all of a sudden, Eric is going to be breaking through this army. The Fire Archers trying to target everything else down. And an amazingly well-targeted fight there from Miniyeti, but the Halberdier control was just not there. And Eric manages to break through that army. And now Miniyeti is in a position where he has 0 gold. Well, he's got 300 gold, but he's got 0 gold income. He does get a Taltier over here to help out. Coming over onto this position. A couple farms and prosperous seeds would help him defend. Look at this army. It's up to heavy, though. He's up to heavy. He's just hit it. Bushido tier 3 is 24,000 XP away. A couple of military camps coming in to help defend this position. There's a big, big difference right now. In terms of score, in terms of tech, in terms of army. 2 Halberdier against all those Naginata riders is going to be very, very tough. The shield is 1500 HP, so a Taotie can't eat a shielded unit. No, I don't think it will kill it. You're right. It would not kill it. It does... Wait, does it? I mean... Maybe. I don't know. Taotie comes forward. Got to be careful. A couple of prosperous seeds. Farms do come through. The Pioneers to try and take out the Razor Wind Kamatachi over there. But good control from Eric to dodge back and forth. He comes in, snipes a couple of units there. Kamatachi coming over onto the side as the villagers need to pull off with the gold there. Halberdiers to pull back. Fire Archers need to focus fire the Samurai. As Miniyeti utilizing his Earth Wall beautifully, but still having some trouble here to hold on. Meanwhile, Hachiman going to be coming through relatively soon here for Eric. He wants to have that one for the Shogun and all the other very, very strong stuff that's going to come through onto that. Meanwhile, the Razor Wind Kamatachi on the way. One villager gets sniped as the Naginata riders onto the top. The Pioneers attempting to snipe these Kamatachi. Another Solar Shield comes through, and Miniyeti doesn't want to see it anymore. He does decide to tap out. And Eric goes up 2-1 in this best of 5 series. Very, very solid play from Eric here. I think it was a little risky. I think if we go back and watch that fight again, I think you could watch it a million times and you could see all the little things that Miniyeti could have controlled better to have came out with an advantage in that fight. I think he could have actually won that fight after all is said and done, but those weasels trying to focus fire them down while scooting with the Fire Arch, making sure the Halberdier attacking Naginata riders instead of samurai, focus firing also the samurai with the Fire Archers, all of that stuff incredibly difficult to do. But that's what you have to do. Nonetheless, we'll move into game number 4. We'll see if Miniyeti can bring it back. Alrighty. Another point here comes over to Eric. We flip this because that was wrong. We come over here into our next game, which is going to be on Ghost Lake, it looks like. No, it's not Ghost Lake. Did we not see a Ghost Lake? It is on Ghost Lake. Alrighty. So we're going to be watching a Kronos versus Freya game here for game number 4 on Ghost Lake. Definitely not the... I used to think this matchup was much worse than it was for Kronos. There's a couple of things you can kind of do here as Kronos now, especially with the boosted economy, helps you out. Definitely not as bad as I thought it was, but it's probably Freya favored still. But we'll see if Eric can work it out or if Miniyeti is going to be able to break through this. Let's jump into this game and see. Alrighty. Miniyeti as the Freya. Eric as the Kronos. 1 win from promoting here into the round of 8, I believe. Or is it the round of 16? The round of 8. 16. I genuinely can't remember where we are. I genuinely can't remember where we are in this tournament. Anyways, Eric's got his Kronos. And he's going to try and do some stuff here to Miniyeti in this game. Nice early rush on this map. He gets the double gold mine, unfortunately, so it's going to be tough to get a Kronos rush in. He's going to be dropping a mana down, so it's not going to be the craziest of rushes. But there's definitely some options to push forward, get Caraballister in and stuff like that. Miniyeti's got to be careful here. He is doing the smart thing. Hasn't gotten himself a second Ox card out. He's sharing the food. You can bring those boar in underneath the town center, eat those, get a nice quick advance time. You really don't need to go for upgrades in this matchup. That's the thing. Is like, for whatever reason, I'm going to go off on a rant here. I love Miniyeti. He's amazing. And he's proving my point completely here. For whatever reason, there is a brand of Norse player, which is the majority of them, which says, hey, I got to be as greedy as I possibly can and take as many shortcuts or advantages that I possibly can in order to get my advantage on my opponent so I can win. What does that mean as Freya? Well, it means you grab pickaxe, then you grab hand axe, and you go temple, and you advance at like 4 minutes and 45 seconds or something. But if you do that versus Kronos, they're going to time shift their temple forward. They're going to deconstruct your temple, and you're not going to be able to get any Hursar out. They're going to run around your base with some Prometheans, and you're going to have to drop your Ghoul and Bursty to defend there. Instead, advance later. Advance faster, put the temple down faster, get yourself out of Hursar. And if the rush doesn't come for whatever reason, you say, fantastic, I'll grab myself my hand axe and pickaxe now, and I'll lose out on, I don't know, 100 resources, 150 resources. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Eric at the moment is going up to the next age. He is going for the fastest, not the fastest of fastest advance, but a pretty quick one. Going for a 330 here. And the Ulla is queued up. And he actually pre-queues it as well, because why not? Get to the next stage faster. There's going to be a Hursar in. Do we see Eric searching for this temple? Not really. He doesn't see where it is. The oracles are kind of coming in onto both sides here. Hursar is already out, which means even if you deconstruct the temple, you will not be able to get all too much value from the early Hursar. And we actually are seeing Miniyeti playing even more crazy. He says, I want to go get this relic. No. Stay here, my boy. Get back here. Prometheans charging in. The Hursar are in. He's going to garrison one. Over onto this side. The Promethean going to be going down. Jesus. Am I dropping frames because of deconstruction? What is happening here? I don't know if it's just my computer. Okay, the Promethean now going to be going down. A couple more offsprings getting sniped down. And this early attack has been an absolute disaster from Eric. Miniyeti completely defends it. And it looks to me like he is going for a town center behind this. I think. Coming up over here, going to drop a mana and then drop the town center. And Miniyeti on the back of this, he did lose his temple. He's going to rebuild it. He doesn't have to play Boomy here. I think this idea from Eric is like really, really dated. Especially in the current climate where you can't really defend with just villages against those sort of portable ram ideas. Miniyeti is going to go rams. You've got to have units out. This town center is okay. It's got a forward gold mine on it. It's got some back hunt there. It's okay, but it's close to Miniyeti's base. And Miniyeti can also decide, I'm just going to grab my own town center and we'll just play a booming game. It's not a problem. Or he can just go full all in at the moment and it's going to be tough for Eric to hold. Because the other thing is, normally against these sort of all-ins, if you're playing Kronos, an easy way to defend is you just get some Caraballas to hero out. You just get some Caraballas to hero out. And you're like, okay, shoot the Deuterinos down and we'll call it a day. But if there's portable rams there, now the Caraballas aren't going to be enough, and he's just going to ram his way through the buildings. You're going to lose everything, and you're going to have to figure out something else. I mean, there is a way here for Eric to hold this, and that involves him not losing a single citizen. Sacking the town center and just saying, great, you can rush me all you like. I'll take my villager advantage, and I'll sit in my base, and I'll get my army out, and you kill this off, fine, no problems. That's the way to hold this, I think, on the side of Kronos. You have to sack the town center. It's not going to be there for very long. So you just take whatever villager advantage you can and try and sit on it in your main base. Eat as much of this hunt as you can. Probably even be on this gold mine for a little bit, maybe, as Miniyeti does spot the town center. And we see a very early ring oath queued up here for Miniyeti. He doesn't even have the favor for another one, but he wants to place another one down. How is he going to get that favor in? He needs, is it 50? He needs 50 favor on top of the 10 favor from that ring oath to get another one down. He's making some Huskal, and that also means he's not going to be going for the Rams either, which does change things again. I guess there's an idea here for that second fort to come down onto here, but he also does need to kill off the town center to stop this gold mine. But nonetheless, Mamilo, Terma coming out for Eric. He probably doesn't realize what's going on. He's probably scared there's already like 3 town centers up. So he's got to get some scouting in and just make sure that he can figure out what's coming his way. In the long run, wouldn't Kronos have an advantage? Only if you lose 0 villages on the attack. Aurochs getting taken out over here. Do I have the Promethean hovering on this spot as a marker coming in? And it looks like Miniyeti is trying to deny scouting of this settlement. Whether or not Eric has spotted it here, he might just be guessing that this has been taken. Obviously hasn't been taken just yet, but I don't think Eric's been able to scout it just yet. Okay, I'm confused. This town center is so late. What are you doing, Mr. Yeti? This is so late. I thought it was doing something crazy. Okay, now I just have to say Eric's in an amazing position. Miniyeti has to find some villager kills here, and a lot of them. He has to find some villager kills, and a lot of them. The army coming through, Terma will spot the town center going up. Eric's got to know that he's got to be in a good position now. He sees how late the town center is here. I mean, on the one hand, it's not as costly to get a town center up as Norse as it is for everyone else. But on the other hand, those resources are so important to be putting pressure on. And Eric's still pumping units. We'll see what he can manage to do here. As the Terma moving forward. I mean, this army that Miniyeti's got out at the moment will probably win any sort of fight that happens, and you really don't want to be giving favor over to the Freya if you can help it. There's Aegir pre-queued for Miniyeti. He wants that next age as fast as he possibly can. Unlocks more upgrades. He's behind by 20 villagers, but generally like a 10 villager differential if your Freya isn't the worst thing in the world, so long as you've got a heroic age coming in. You can just get the extra upgrades in for half price and you can kind of stay nice and close. I'm going to be seeing the Hyperion on the way though for Eric. As all the walls are starting to come through as well for Miniyeti. Armory coming up onto this side. I don't think Hyperion is correct in this matchup. You want to go for Rhea so you have access to Siege in the heroic age. Because Destroyers don't work very well versus the Thrown Axemen. The Behemoths can get through them. As the Oracle gets killed off. Obviously, you can't go and kill off a town center with the Behemoths because of Gul and Bursty, but you can kill off, I don't know, buildings, walls, forts, etc. Very important. Unless the medium Huskal back here, Aegir, is coming in now as well, so not too far behind, but upgrades coming through. And a secondary armory would not go astray here because it's really not those armory upgrades take forever to come in. So secondary armory makes it much, much quicker. Chaos is good against the Thrown Axeman, but I don't think you need it. Like the problem is, right, I kill off your Thrown Axeman, but then how do I kill off the fortress? How do I kill off the town center? How do I kill off the Aegir? The frost? You can't break through it all. You need to have that pushing power. You have to like set up. You have to play a smart game here with Kronos. Like utilizing palaces and buildings and stuff in tandem with your army, taking your economic advantage and finding max value from it, right? So throw an Axeman popping back into the town center. Huskal going to be defending nicely. Onto the back, another Miniyeti Great Hall coming through. I mean, there's a world where you can just mass up a whole bunch of Satyr, maybe. There's Eric moving into the main base now, looking to pick off some dwarves. And maybe Eric is going to be able to get a similar amount of damage done onto Miniyeti that Miniyeti got onto him in the last game. There's Copper Armor, Shaft Mine, Bowsaw, Heavy Infantry, Feast of Renown. All of these coming through. Eric coming in to push off this gold mine. There is watchtowers. There's no Kren at the moment. Dwarves make a quick run into the tower as the Kontaris will just say, well, I can kill that off and then I'll kill off the dwarves. Nope. The dwarves will push back into the town center and move elsewhere as a second Asgardian bastion now coming through. Going to be defending up on this gold mine. And this is the problem. How do you break through this? There's so many units. Yes, he's actually got an equal or more military resource value at the moment. So Hill Fort finishes up. And Straggler Rock Giant popping forward here. Just the medium and Miller getting taken down, and now Eric is on the back foot. I think he can turn and fight this. I don't think... Oh, he just the chaos. If he drops the chaos just on top of the throw and axe, and I think he could turn and fight that, but unfortunately he drops on the entirety of the army, continues to run. Trying to grab the town center over onto this side. The Kontari is sniping villagers. But he does lose a lot for it there. I think with some good control, we might be able to find somewhat of a win, but no answer for the Rock Giant at the moment. Hurts. A-Gear. Tempest is in, so now Eric has to retreat yet again. And Miniyeti is just going to be breaking through everything here. All these units falling. Kontarius back into the main base. Citizens going down. The tower does end up falling on the front there, and we will see Miniyeti now saying, time for more hill forts. He's picked off a huge amount of units here of Eric, but the problem is that Eric's got no answer to hill fort. He's got no answer to these Huskars. Deconstruction is somewhat of an answer, I guess. But he's taking the fight yet again. He's down huge amounts of population, and this hill fort is just going to get rebuilt here. It's just going to get rebuilt. Herdman charging in, going to take out the citizens and all the other good stuff onto this side. We got the bronze finally coming through. And all of a sudden, Miniyeti takes the lead in this game. And it just looks like Eric is crumbling here. Kontarius Terma against this army. I mean, makes a little bit of sense. You got the Huskar. Technically, the Kontarius do fine against the Huskar. Terma do fine against the Throw and Axeman. But he needs units. A palace up onto the top side. You see the Herdman coming through. As the army is just crashing into this main town center here. Miniyeti saying, should I actually fight it? Should I not? He's taking in he's going in. Doesn't really have any of those Herdmen on this fight at all. As all the units, look at the queue of units. Even if he loses units here, they're just immediately getting replaced. As Eric's army completely disintegrates. And Eric's town center to fall over onto this side. Another Asgardian hill fort coming through for Miniyeti. And that's going to be Eric saying, GG, let me out of here. We'll go into a game number 5. Well, it was a good opener from Eric, all things considered. But I think the main problem here was just he didn't go for that rear. He didn't apply any serious pressure. And he kind of just let Miniyeti expand. And he didn't put any palaces down of which he needs to support his army. Like if you're fighting, right, and you've got a palace here, for example, and you push in this way with a palace, then when the A-Gear comes in, you say, no worries, I retreat into the palace, garrison in, I put another palace on the back here, I'll retreat out that, and then you can potentially kill off my palace, but I've got the other one back here, and then I can push back in after the palace is down. Basically using those palace, using towers even, is your way through here for Kronos. That's the secret. And then when you're fighting underneath the hill fort, you got a palace there to help out, so it's not that big of a deal. You're behemoth to take out the hill fort, and then you can start pressuring this gold mine. You can claim this gold mine as well, and you're in a good spot. But it is a hard matchup. Well played to Miniyeti. He found his way through. He took way too long to get the town center up, but he got it up, and he did manage to hold on. Played nice defense. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the series will end for today. If you do want to watch Game 5, I casted it live on day 1. I believe it's the final game that I watched on that day. So if you want to jump over to the YouTube video and watch that now, if you didn't already see it, the matchup was a Isis versus Uranos, and it was an absolute banger of a game. So if you want to go watch it, head over in there and check it out. But also, don't forget to hit the follow button. Don't forget the subscribe button and all the other good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next game.